Right. Well, I suppose if I start right at the beginning of all this, which was when I first found out that Joe had been diagnosed with Parkinson's, and we'd actually been on a train trip, and I was on the train coming back to Saltburn, and I got a phone call off Joe just saying, "No, hi mum, have you had a night?" Just saying, when you get into Saltburn, will you come straight round? So I said yes, went off the phone and thought, oh my God, what's going on? Because I knew that there was going to be something. Anyway, came round and Joe told both of us, that she'd been diagnosed with Parkinson's. And initially, I didn't know that much about Parkinson's. Like a lot of people, I kind of thought it was a tremor. And my real big fear before she'd gone for the scan and everything had been that she was going to have an inoperable brain tumour that was going to kill her. So my initial feeling was, well, at least it's not a brain tumour. And of course, for Joe, for me to sort of say, oh, at least it's not a brain tumour, she was thinking, I've got this horrendous disease, which is going to get worse and worse and worse, and there's no cure for it. And you're saying, oh, I'm glad you've not got a brain tumour. So I think right from the beginning, that was really difficult for both of us. It was difficult for Jo because she wasn't getting what she needed, the response that she needed from me, and for me because I'd made a right pig's ear of it, and sort of my understanding had been limited. But anyway, we kind of worked past that, and then we had a couple of times where we had occasions where Jo was really furious with me because I'd told somebody that she'd got Parkinson's, and as she said, her feelings were that she was losing control of everything in her life, and the only thing at that time that she felt she had control over was who she told and who knew. And I had put my big foot in it and had told somebody that she didn't want to know at that time, because I was taking it away from her. And I think that again was really, really difficult. But we weathered those, as you do when you love each other. You sort of you work your way through it. And then, of course, in the early days, Jo's symptoms did seem to just be more or less the tremor, and obviously she had I can't remember whether it's the dystonia or the dyskinesia, but where her muscles would go into spasm and her feet, her toes would curl up, and she couldn't make them do what she wanted. But it was very much down this left-hand side. And of course then she started to get her medication, and I think on some levels, this probably sounds a bit weird to say, but in a way it's kind of, for me, it almost equates itself to the fact that if you're frightened of flying and you get on a flight, and when you take off, the fear's almost unbearable and you're so frightened, but actually once you're in the air, you cannot, if you're going on a long flight, you can't stay that frightened all the time. You just, your body doesn't do it. You sort of go into a medium thing where you're almost resigned to where you are. And I think with the Parkinson's, with Jo, I think for all of us, initially, I think everybody rallied round and everybody was there, I'll be there for you, Jo, I'll help you, I'll do this, I'll do that. But then, of course, everybody's lives take over, and, that the things that are going on for them happen. And so I think that level of support the practical level of it decreases, because people, as I say, you know, they've got their own things going on in their own lives. So I think for a while, Jo, from the outside, Jo's symptoms seemed to be on a reasonable, not a reasonable, they seemed to be on a level where they weren't deteriorating massively, so that the deterioration in her symptoms was gradual, and therefore when you were seeing her all the time, not so noticeable. Does that make sense? It just but then when she's, you know, gone to see Archie, and then when her symptoms have been getting worse, Archie's changed her medication, altered her medication, and I think that then that has helped. Jo mentioned earlier that she was having hallucinations. This has been sort of relatively recently, in the last 18 months, I would say, and they've been horrendous, because she's been waking up thinking there's a man sitting on the end of the bed, and he's been really real, and so that's been a horrible thing because then you're frightened to go to sleep, and you're frightened to not have the light on, and that's something again that they tried to deal with by changing her medication, and I think that has helped. I don't think that it is as prevalent now as it has been. I think what Jo said, one of the things I think that she touched on was a slight feeling of imposter syndrome, where she felt, you know, people were saying, well, I can't tell any difference, and no, you can't see anything, you're fine. And then so she ends up thinking, well, I don't feel fine, and I think I'm doing some weird things, but nobody seems to see them. Am I imagining that I'm doing this? Is it? And so I think that's been really difficult, and I recognise, and I think Jo recognises, it comes from a place of people being kind, I suppose, in a way, not wanting to say, yes, you know, I can see that you've got these symptoms. And for me, myself, I've always tried to be honest to Jo, and so to say, yes, your symptoms are getting worse. Yes, I can see that, you know, that you've got these symptoms. So, for instance, you know, it's now this business is now in her right hand as well as her left. It wasn't in her right hand at all 12 months ago, or not discernibly anyway. But now it is. So when she said she'd seen Archie and she was looking at the deep brain stimulation, she sent me some stuff to read up on it, and it's quite scary, but at the same time it offers hope. And I think that it's absolutely the right thing for her to do it. I will carry on looking at Jo and talking to her. It is difficult sometimes because I love her. And I hate to see her having to deal with this. It's really difficult. She was saying earlier about how, for her, one of the things that helps her and that she's grateful for is the fact that it's her and not her children. And I don't actually have that. because it isn't me, it's my child. Sorry. But she's incredibly brave, and she's just an inspiration to so many people. And the work that she's done on Facebook and on social media, I think has just given so many people who have Parkinson's a voice and somebody to look at who's telling them the truth. I know for a long time in the early days, Jo didn't want to put anything on social media that was down. She wanted to show it as, that the happy face, if you like. This is me. I've got Parkinson's, but I can live this life. I can live like this. But then I think she realised that in a way that's giving a false impression, because people might think that she doesn't have any down times or any difficulties, which of course she does, and she did. And so she was brave enough to put on social media the times when she didn't feel well, and when she was feeling depressed, when she felt as if she was in a black hole. And I think that those times, as much as anything, have helped other people with Parkinson's who will be going through maybe not the same symptom range, but will be going through the same highs and lows, where the days when they feel good and the days when they feel like shit. And so I think that, that what she has done there, and the way that she has used what's happened to her to try to benefit other people, I think is outstanding, and I am incredibly proud of her. But I really, really desperately want tomorrow to be the start of a new phase going forward, and I desperately want them to say that she's suitable for the treatment. Don't know what else to say, really.